Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. Today, we have several hearings to cover, all coming from Judge O'Donnell's courtroom. Now, Judge O'Donnell is quickly becoming one of my favorite judges to watch, and I hope to show you in today's video why I think he's a fair and compassionate judge, while at the same time, he doesn't take any nonsense from anyone. So let's begin.
All rise. Seated.
The State of Ohio versus Dwayne Rucker, 24 CR 1136. We're here on two motions. Motion in limine regarding the testing of the substances on the two different dates, and a motion to reveal the identity of the CI and demand for discoverable recordings. Where does that stand, Ms. Smith?
Your Honor, as to the motion to reveal the CI identity and produce the videos of the controlled buys were produced back on March 25th, I believe. The identities of the confidential informants have not been revealed at this time, although there are names associated with those CIs that defense counsel is aware do not correspond with the individual.
Mr. Gregorich?
Your Honor, I will provide. It was under assumption that I told her who it was, but I will provide that immediately following the hearing.
Well, why don't you two step out in the hallway and talk about that right now before we start anything else? I understand. And then subsequent subpoenas went out, I think were served today to show up at 1 o'clock, is that right?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay. So how would I hold Gilson to anything when she wasn't even served with it? It was left at her door, but she wasn't there.
Your Honor, that is in part why we would add, we understand the severity and seriousness of asking for a material witness warrant or.
Well, why, but she hasn't refused to appear for anything.
Your Honor, she did refuse. She received the initial subpoena, which did incorrectly order her to appear yesterday at 2 p.m. She did not appear yesterday.
We didn't have a hearing yesterday.
And additionally, Your Honor, she did confirm receipt of her subpoena on Friday via email on May 30th at 7:23 p.m. and emailed directly to me. Good evening. I received the subpoena.
I saw that because she sent it to Maria also, so I'm aware of that email. But whether she was here at 2 o'clock yesterday or not doesn't matter because there was no hearing yesterday.
And
so she's not failed to comply with anything. I mean, these subpoenas were filed at 11:26 today, telling her stuck on her door to be here at 1 o'clock today. Okay,
Your Honor, regardless of the subpoena issue, it is the state's burden to produce its analysts to testify to their work.
Let's stop right there, okay? Because this whole thing is ridiculous, okay? The fact that we're wondering where Gilson is, okay, is a big problem for the state because you should move hell and high water to get Gilson here because this impacts your lab, okay? The allegations here are deadly serious, that there was a lot of stuff going on there that shouldn't have been going on. Now, whether that is borne out with the testimony, we'll see, okay? But certainly, if the drugs were analyzed by Mr. Meter and confirmed by Ms. Gilson, okay, and the allegation is that they were doing everything wrong over that time period, then, God damn it, I would think that you would want to have her here, and Mr. Meter is here to answer these questions so we can figure out in this case, because this is about this case. Okay, it's not about the lab, it's about this case and whether the correct process was followed, whether they were analyzed properly such that they should be admitted into evidence. So here's what we're going to do. Okay, we're going to have this hearing at 8 o'clock on Monday morning. And we're going to start the trial right after that. So I'm going to presume that Ms. Gilson's gonna be encouraged to show up here to give testimony. Because if not, I'm gonna presume that she's gonna be gonna be subpoenaed, okay, to show up at 8 o'clock on Monday, okay? And if she's not here, you know, then we'll have to send somebody to get her. And she'll be here one way or another. But I don't know why it wouldn't be in the best interest of the state to get her here to give that testimony.
Could I just be heard?
Go ahead.
The subpoenas that were issued for her aren't valid to begin with.
Okay. All right. Then I presume well, I don't know why they're not valid or whether they're valid or why are they not valid?
If I might. They were
Well,
issued in the name.
tell her what she did improperly.
Faith Andrews is not the corporate courts.
What?
Faith Andrews is not.
Okay, all right, let's quit screwing around. Mr. Rucker's been indicted, okay? And one of them's an F1, okay? So this is serious shit, okay? So let's quit fucking around and let's do this the proper way so that case gets adjudicated on the merits. All right?
I agree, Your Honor.
God damn it.
All right.
Do you see what I mean? He doesn't hold anything back, even to the prosecutors. And his courtroom is pretty consistent that if justice is going to be served one way or another, then it will be served on the merits of the case and not some technicality. Now we're going to head to the next case, which is a probation violation where the defendant tries to bullshit a no bullshit judge.
What was the addendum, Nicole?
He tested positive on May 7th for a cocktail of drugs when he was arrested.
That is correct. It was May 7th. He tested positive for methamphetamine, benzodiazepine, MDMA, and an antidepressant. He had to test on May 7th.
So there's that violation. You understand that charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Deeb, what does he want to do?
He's going to waive his final hearing, Your Honor, and plead guilty to the probation violations.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's your plea to those violations?
Guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea and find you guilty. What's the problem?
The problem is, Your Honor, I thought I was doing really good when I got out, and I started to stop going to my meetings and things so much.
Why?
And I thought I can do it on my own.
Wait a minute. You were here, I sentenced you on January 24th,
Yes,
and you're not, April 7th, okay? So 2.5 months later, you're not showing up. So you weren't doing good. Don't give me that shit you were doing good, because you weren't doing good. If you were doing good, you would have showed up to decision points. So why don't you comply with what you're supposed to comply with? That's designed to assist you. Why don't you do it?
because I was under the influence again, sir.
Okay. Why?
I just needed more help than I realized.
If what led to all this shit back in January was your use of drugs and alcohol, why did you go out and use drugs and alcohol?
I'll be honest with you, sir. I need more help than I realized, I guess. I don't know. I couldn't answer. I think that it helps me, but it doesn't, and it makes everything worse.
When can you point to any time in your life that the drugs helped you?
And it hasn't. Can't.
So what made you think this time it was gonna help you?
That's my thinking.
Where'd you get the drugs?
From my buddies. Well, not my friends, it's my associates.
Who?
There's a dude named David, and
David who?
I don't know his last name. I think it's David. I forget. And then there's a guy that I got it from, another guy, John Mueller, and a couple other people.
John Mueller.
Yes.
Why are you hanging around John Mueller? Didn't we have this discussion not too long ago about he's perhaps the dumbest human being alive?
Yes.
Why are you hanging around Mueller?
I ran into him at an AA meeting, and
AA meeting.
I have no idea who John Mueller is, but he seems like a real asshole. Maybe you should start surrounding yourself with more people the judge doesn't know by name and less people like John Mueller.
It seems like you have no interest in any of this stuff.
I really do, Your Honor. I really just want to try to get rehab. I've never completed rehab, and I think it would help me.
Well, where did you go for your IOP after I
Signature.
let you out of here?
Signature Health.
And what did you do there?
I went there. They didn't recommend IOP. They just said to go to meetings, and they put me back in my Suboxone, and then that's what got me using drugs again.
Do you have anything from Signature Health? What did you tell them when you went there about your drug and alcohol use?
Your Honor, I lied.
Oh, okay. Well, is it any wonder they told you that there was anything for you to do? Where'd you get your mental health evaluation?
Mental health evaluation, Signature Health too.
Okay, did you lie to them about that too?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. D?
Your Honor, knowing that he needs treatment, the family is here to support him. His mother is here. There's a program called Armada in Akron that would take him. They have a bed available to him, and it would be at no cost to Mr. Dameron. And it could be for up to 1 year, though it's not a secure facility.
It's not a secure facility. Why in the world would I think that he would do it?
He would have the fact that you're going to send him to prison without a doubt.
I could send him to prison right now.
Prison's
That's not an impediment to me.
Prison's not what he needs, Your Honor. He needs that.
Well, maybe it isn't what he needs, but I could send him right now.
You're absolutely correct. You can. And otherwise, NeoCap would be a viable option. He's committed to making the change, Your Honor. And there is the mental health component over at Signature that also would be at Armada that would be
Yeah, but
beneficial to him.
what good is it to go to Signature when he lies to him?
Well, he was,
This guy's interested in partying. That's what he's interested in doing.
he's always voiced that he didn't need the Suboxone, but they prescribed it to him. I asked him why did he take it if he didn't think he needed it, but he took it because that's what they prescribed, and it led to some of these problems.
And Mueller gave him, whatever he gave him, and so he took it.
Correct. And Tyler knows he needs to change. He just doesn't know how, and he thought he could do it with some outpatient and he could get back to his regular life. He realized he needs more help than he anticipated, and he's committed to it, Your Honor.
Mr. Deeb, what else? What else you want to say?
If you would be interested in hearing from that program, I know the family would be willing to describe that to you. Other than that, Your Honor, we wait your decision.
All right, I've reviewed the pre-sentence report again and the drug and alcohol evaluation. Listen to the defendant and Mr. Deeb. I'm going to keep you on community control. You're going to serve 89 days in jail with credit for 29. The last 30, you'll be in the jail treatment program, and you'll follow all the recommendations. After you complete that, you're going to enter into the NeoCap program, complete it, and follow all those recommendations. And then the rest of the conditions I told you back on January 24th that haven't been completed, with the exception of decision points, you're going to complete all that. You're going to go and participate in everything that I told you to do. Including the no contacts. So do you understand that? I can't send you to a place where you can leave, because you've demonstrated to me clearly that you're not going to do
But I will, Your
voluntarily
Honor. If you give me
what
my
I told
chance,
you
I
to
can show
do.
you.
I just gave you a chance. I gave you a chance on January 24th. After a strangulation charge, I gave you a chance. And you blew it off within 2.5 months. So don't ask me for another chance. I'm giving you another chance. I'm not sending you to prison today. So I'm giving you another chance. You figure out what you want to do with that chance. So if you don't do it, you come back on a violation, I find you violated, and you'll go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Deeb?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so he has 60 days to serve in jail, with 30 of them being in the jail drug program, followed by all the tools he needs to help himself out that he can do while he's on probation. It might seem like a lot, because it really is, but if you can complete that program, then you can probably turn your entire life around. Which brings us to our next lady, who is convinced that she wants to change her life for the better, but then has a moment of instant regret when she realizes just how hard it's going to be.
That there wouldn't be any alternatives necessarily available to her. After reviewing her PSR, just a few things to highlight for the court, so the additional information. She is 38 years old, Your Honor. She is divorced. She has two children, an 18-year-old and an 11-year-old. They're living with her 18-year-old father. Her 18-year-old is going to be graduating high school from Avon High School in New York. If at all possible, she did indicate to me that if there was any way, she would like to be present to attend that. Again, in light of our discussions, it seems that may not be likely, but again, there's that factor. She certainly has that motivation to look forward to stay clean. This is her first felony. She has never been to prison before. It doesn't seem like she has a juvenile record other than a self-reported complicity charge. Other than that, there's no other juvenile record, Your Honor. She does not have a valid driver's license. She owes license fees. I asked her, of course, what she does for a living and confirmed that per the pre-sentence report, she is self-employed as an in-home caregiver. Of course, my follow-up question was, how do you get to the homes of the people you're providing care for? She said she takes Uber. I then said, would it not be more beneficial to you to save your Uber money to go towards your fees for your driver's license so that you don't have to continue to rely on Uber to get to that job? She agreed with me. So one of her goals then would be to obtain her driver's license, to obtain her GED. She only completed the 9th grade at Euclid High School. So that is a goal that she'd like to accomplish as well, potentially getting her an opportunity for better employment. She indicated that the individual that she was with at the time she committed this offense was a person that she met at the jail. They exchanged numbers, went shopping together, became friends so that they could abuse substances. So she knows that she needs to make better friend choices. She does take responsibility in that she knows and recognizes she has her substance abuse. So her desire to attend NeoCap and or do another jail treatment program, she's willing to do those things, Your Honor, so that she can better herself and demonstrate to the court that she can leave the drug life behind. She was seemingly brought up in this sort of environment, as evidenced by the death of several of her family members, Your Honor, including her father, who, as I understand, died of an overdose, her two sisters that she's lost. So she's also indicated in the pre-sentence report that she would like some grief counseling. She's never squarely dealt with the death of several of her family members, Your Honor. So she has a lot of things that she'd like to consider. So again, I asked her specifically what her goals were, other than just what the court might hear from many defendants, which is, well, I just want to change or be a better person. When I asked her how she wanted to do that, she did tell me that she did want to increase her education level, get her driver's license back, get a better job, be there for her children, stay away from the people that provide her the opportunity to continue to abuse substances, Your Honor. Furthermore, she is and indicated to me that she is in contact with Signature Health at Willoughby with an individual named Nicole Pavella. She wants to continue her involvement with Signature Health. She indicated in her pre-sentence report she wanted to do virtual substance abuse classes. I said, that's not going to fly. That's another reason why you need to get your driver's license. And until then, if you're going to do treatment, you need to get there in person. So she's got a lot of things that she's hopeful to look forward to, Judge, and she understands that the court certainly has every right and intention of sending her to NeoCap, Your Honor. She would just like the court to consider availing itself of all the options available. Thank you.
And that's why you should let an attorney speak for you. They can make it sound like you really want to help yourself out, even if you really don't want to help yourself out. Now all she has to do is pass Judge O'Donnell's horseshit test.
What do you want? You're sitting here now, I gotta do something. What do you want?
I would like to give the chance to get out and do meetings. I will go to in-person meetings. I will take the bus. I will bust my butt to get my GED, get my license, do meetings, get a sponsor. That's my first and foremost thing, Your Honor, is to get a sponsor to help me do the 12-step, because I've never fully completed a the steps. Do IOP, take care of my kids, and further my education so I can get my own business and have an in-home healthcare business. You will not see me back here, Your Honor. I know you've heard that time and time again, but this is my first felony, and this is going to be my only felony.
Not if you keep using drugs.
That's why I want to get the help. I need to get the tools.
What you think you need and what you need are worlds apart.
You're correct. You're right.
I mean, up until I walked in here, you wanted to go to prison for 12 months.
That's because I wasn't thinking. I would just jump in the spur of the moment. Just thinking.
Well, I mean, how can it be spur of the moment if you've been sitting over there for 77 days?
Because
What have you been doing for 77 days?
I've been going to AA meetings. I've been reading the Recovery Bible. I've been trying to connect spiritually. I've never really had been connected with God. I've been trying to connect and think everything through. Think about what I need to do, what I'm going to do.
All right, so if you've been doing that for 77 days, why did you come in here and say you wanted to go to prison for 12
Because
months?
to be honest with you, I did not think that I was going to be getting NeoCamp.
Well,
I did not think that was going to be a possibility.
what did you think was going to be a possibility?
I thought it was going to be JCP, IOP, probation, and
Okay.
that's it.
Okay, so what's your what's your problem with NeoCap?
From what I've heard, I mean, I don't.
You've heard who have you heard it from?
Inmates and other people, which I shouldn't be listening to. No, I don't have a problem with NeoCamp. It was just I just didn't think that. I don't know. I don't have an answer. Your Honor.
What the problem is, in addition to your abuse of drugs over the last 15 years,
Right.
is your lack of ability to reason, to think through and reason. Okay? And that's exactly one of the primary things NeoCap is designed to do. Christ almighty, you jumped out of a car that was moving at least 20 miles an hour. Now, you were either completely screwed up on drugs or have no valid thought process. One of those two things. Probably both. So you need to rewire your brain. And virtual meetings are literally worthless.
That's why I was.
Okay? If you think you can cure this thing by going to meetings and getting a sponsor, then your thinking ain't right.
And IOP.
Yeah, well,
And not virtually, I said I'd go in person.
the IOP is only as good as the work that the person puts into it, and then that's only half the battle.
And I'm willing to do all of it.
All right, well, I guess you're going to be given an opportunity here to rewire your brain. And you're either going to utilize the opportunity or you're not going to utilize the opportunity. Okay? This half-ass shit don't work.
Right.
Okay? So you decide, I mean, you're 38, right?
Yes, sir.
And your kids are how old?
11 and 18.
And the 11-year-old is in the custody of somebody who isn't even a parent of the 11-year-old.
I know you're at it.
Okay? So how screwed up is that? So you can either continue to let it be screwed up or unscrew it up.
That's why I want the opportunity to get out
Well,
so I can do
you'll get
this.
the opportunity, but that's not the question, okay? The question is what you're going to do with the opportunity. Because 95% of the people that run through that seat right there get the opportunity, okay? About 10% of those people who get the opportunity take advantage of the opportunity. So you can be part of the 90% or part of the 10%. But that's up to you.
I understand, Your Honor.
She sounds pretty convincing, But once she finds out exactly how hard it's going to be to change her life for the better, she's going to be less convinced instantaneously.
Seleshi?
Thank you, Your Honor. The state is reluctantly recommending community control sanctions. I say,
Why reluctantly?
well, as the court's aware, the defendant has vacillated between prison and neocap within the last 5 to 10 minutes that we've been here, and also reluctantly because she's had prior attempts at treatment and, appears to have wasted those opportunities.
A perfectly reasonable reasoning. Go ahead.
Thank you. So, like I said, reluctantly, it is apparent she needs treatment if there's any hope of her succeeding in the future. So we are recommending all the treatment tools available to her, JTP, NeoCap, AA meetings, any other terms this court deems appropriate. There are 77 days credit.
Okay, thank you.
Decision point, Your Honor, also for.
They don't have that for women.
What?
Yeah. Now, listen, when you sit here and you think about jail treatment and neocap and everything else, first thing that goes through your mind is, that's gonna take me months and months and months, right? Isn't that part of what your reasoning is? Part of why you, when you came in here, you just wanted to go to prison and get it over with? Isn't it?
Kind of. I mean,
Kind of, because that's what all the dipshits over there say, okay? That's what you're gonna get.
More time around here.
Sorry for that, Your Honor.
Who is that?
That's a friend of mine.
Who is it?
Who is it?
Yeah.
He's a friend of mine,
I
James.
know, what's his name?
James Checkarellis.
Okay. Probably shouldn't hang around Chickarellis, okay? Because he seems to be in the group of dipshits, quite frankly, by the way he conducts himself in here, okay?
I'm sorry for that, Your Honor.
It's not your fault, okay? But it will be your fault if you keep hanging around him, okay? Because he appears to be an idiot,
That's who I'm. If I were you to give me a chance, that's who I'm leaving with. Is my mom.
okay? Your mom's very upset here today.
Very. She's all I am. I'm all she has. She's not doing good health-wise, and I'm all she has.
And that sounds like a really good reason to straighten your life up. But as you're about to see for yourself, all those tears and concern for what her mother has or doesn't have was all a lie and didn't mean shit.
Then you ought to be more concerned about her than you are about getting high.
See, you're absolutely right, Your Honor. Me sitting in there has been so long. She needs me out there. My kids need me out. I want to prove to you. I know you've heard it time and time again.
Bob, go see if that idiot's still hanging around.
You
You did, okay. All right, I've reviewed the pre-sentence report and the psychological evaluation. Does that guy's name ring a bell to you by any chance?
Yeah, that's who she said she was going to be living with when she gets out.
Oh, that's in
not-
Euclid?
No,
Okay, that's who you've been living with, right?
no, but living with my mom.
No, I'm in the PSR, you've been living in
The
Euclid.
information she gave us, that's where
Right.
that was her residence.
Okay.
And then she told me that's where she was going back. So
Okay, all right. So I considered the pre-sentence report, the psychological evaluation. I've considered what you have told me, what counsel has told me. And I've considered all the provisions in 29, 29, 11, 12, and 13. I'm going to place you on community control for 3 years. You're going to serve 122 days with credit for 77. The last 30 days, you're going to go into the jail treatment program. You're going to complete it. You're going to follow the recommendations. Then you're going to go to NeoCap, complete it, and follow the recommendations. So those two first steps are very important, okay? Because that's going to give you the information you need to know in order to change your habits of drug ingestion and change your habits of thinking, okay? After that, you're going to go to a sober living facility for a minimum of 6 months. You're going to get a mental health evaluation, which you'll probably be able to get at NeoCap, and follow those recommendations. Because you need to deal with all this stuff that's happened in your past. Because if you don't, learn to deal with it. And you'll be back where you are.
All that time, sir.
Right. Here we go. Channeling the dipshits over here.
It's not channeling the dipshit, sir. That's
It's what?
that's more time than what I'd be getting for prison.
Here we go again. Here we were back to where we were 25 minutes ago.
But to be honest with you, sir, that's the truth.
What is it? Of course it's the truth.
Take me to prison.
Of course it's the
Send me to
truth.
prison.
You're to go to only one doctor, one dentist, and one pharmacy for
That's fine.
medication. You're to take your medication as prescribed.
That's fine.
And you're going to get a valid driver's license, full employment. You're going to go to at least 3 AA or NA meetings a week and get a sponsor and pay the cost of supervision fees. If you violate, then I'll send you to prison for 12 months.
Can you please send me to prison?
Anything else, Ms. Alessi?
Just the forfeiture of the items, Your Honor.
Forfeited?
Thank you.
Mr. Mulkey?
Not at all, Your Honor. Thank you.
Well, he didn't send you to prison, so it looks like you're gonna have to do your jail time first, get released, and then make the conscious decision to not better your life for yourself and your kids. While she makes her decision, we're gonna head to our final hearing, which had one of the funniest excuses for drug use I've ever heard in court.
Ms. Alessi?
Thank you, Your Honor. We're present in State of Ohio versus Richard Petrich, case number 25 CR 148. Defendant is in court, represented by John Katika. We are here today for purposes of sentencing. The defendant previously pled guilty to count 1, possession of cocaine, a felony of the 5th degree, in violation of Revised Code Section 2925.11 with the attached forfeiture specification. The court referred the defendant for a pre-sentence report and drug and alcohol evaluation and scheduled sentencing for today. Those reports have been completed and the state's prepared to proceed with sentencing.
Excuse me.
All right, Mr. Fatika.
Good morning, Your Honor. I've had an opportunity to review the PSR and the drug and alcohol evaluation. I'd like to highlight the fact that Mr. Petrich has been at the Lake County Jail for 51 days. No institutional incidents have been reported during that time. He's a self-employed plumber. We acknowledge that he has a fairly lengthy history. 2 prior prison, the most recent in 1993. I don't believe he has any felonies since that 1993 conviction. We'd ask the court to consider community control sanctions here, conditioned on Mr. Petrich attending AA meetings, getting a home group and a sponsor.
I have a sponsor, no. I haven't seen him in a while, but. Thank you.
Mr. Petrich, what do you want to tell me?
First of all, I want to apologize for my appearance right now. I've been trying, sir. I don't hang around with nobody like I used to. I don't know what I want to tell you. I want to tell you that I want this all to go away, but it's not going to happen. But I will do whatever's required of me, sir. I really needed to go to work. It just cost me a lot of money right now, a couple $1,000 probably. But I will do whatever's required of me, sir. I apologize for my behavior. I leave the alcohol alone for a while. I do sometimes. I binge drink, but I can control it. I can. But I'm gonna just leave it alone for a little while, sir. I'm 55 years old. I don't know. I'm not a kid anymore. I apologize.
So what happened with this offense?
What happened.
Yep, back on January 27th.
Oh, I don't like saying, but sometimes I use it for ED purpose too. Sometimes.
Hey, 10 points for creativity. I mean, this is the first time I've ever heard someone say that street butter cures soft Peter. And let's be honest, if your haircut and the color of your beard weren't signs enough that you should finally grow up, your ED should have came way before a mid-50s drug conviction.
I apologize for that.
No, I mean, what happened inside of Mark's?
I don't recall, actually,
Why not?
because I was probably drinking too much.
Because you were blind drunk, right?
I was not blind, I was in a blackout, I assume.
Right.
I remember parts of it,
Where were you drinking that day?
on the street.
What do you mean on the street?
No, I wasn't, on a bus stop somewhere or something, I don't know. No, I
Like in
didn't go out-
January. What are you doing outside of the bus stop drinking?
Traveling, I don't drive.
Traveling where?
I don't know, wherever the bus takes me, I guess. Yeah,
Well, where were you going then?
I was gonna go home. I was coming to Lake County, because the bus changes from the RTA to the Lake Train right there at Shoregate.
I thought you lived in Euclid.
I do live in Euclid. Well, my
Why
buddy.
were you taking the RCA to the Lake Train in Willowwood?
Well, my buddy lives on what is it? Damn, I can't remember the street's name. Right across from the park. Yeah, right. I'm going to visit some friends.
Which
That
park-
you
which
catch it
park?
3.
Which
The Menor Park, where the pool's at, right there, right past the cemetery.
That's Willoughby.
Yeah. I don't know it exactly, sir. I don't know.
I wasn't asking exactly. I'm just asking
Okay.
questions, and you're
Yes.
telling me I don't know what
I'm
kind of
just
answers.
babbling.
Okay. You don't have an alcohol problem?
Not necessarily. I was real bad during the early '90s and stuff like that. But I've grown out of that. I've grown up somewhat. You know what I mean? It's a lot of danger out there right now. You know what I mean? But I go to meetings still now. I just haven't been. I've been trying to do it by myself and without the
You
help.
got like a shitload of disorderly intox,
With the help of the
drug
Lord.
abuses. I mean,
It's
going back
ridiculous.
forever, and
It's
it's not changed. But you don't have a problem.
It's ridiculous.
Well, it seems to me you got all these things because you got a pretty bad drinking problem, don't you?
I have bad luck. I guess.
What?
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah, I
look. On January 27, you created your own luck because you
I-
couldn't stop touching people.
Yes, sir.
I mean, so that had nothing to do with luck.
I know. Yes, sir.
You got. What time of day was this? Do you remember?
After work,
Any idea how much you drank that day?
no.
No.
But I don't eat. That's no. It's not an excuse. But
Look.
I know, sir. It's
I mean, you told. What's her name back there? What's her name? Probation officer. Right there.
I don't know. We never formally
It ain't
introduced her.
baby girl, right?
Huh?
It ain't baby girl. That ain't her name, is it?
I know we never formally introduced each other.
All right. Well, you kept calling her baby girl. I'm just wondering.
One
You
time.
thought that was her
and I didn't. I didn't even fully say it.
Okay.
Oh.
But you kept. I mean, you told her up and down you didn't have a problem with alcohol.
Sir, I don't say I don't have a problem, but it's not like when I was a kid going through all this.
It looks like it because it's never stopped. I mean, there's a disorderly conduct on January 13th. This happens on January 27th. I mean, this is constant your whole life. What are you doing with the cocaine?
Well, I was using it for some extracurricular activities. It's not
Like what, playing baseball or what? And what are
Yeah.
you talking about?
No, this is for the ladies, for the girls too.
How often were you using it?
I don't, because I barely get any.
Okay, but you told me you had it because you were going to use it.
Yeah.
So my question is, how often do you use it?
maybe a few times a year if that, I don't know.
Okay. You don't think I believe that, do you?
Well, I don't think I believe it either.
This has to be one of the dumbest people I've ever covered. I mean, how are you going to actually tell the judge that even you don't believe what you're saying?
All right.
Because
Well, you shouldn't tell me it if you don't believe it. I mean,
What do you mean? I don't know.
listen, listen.
Sir, I don't
You,
use it
you
like
clearly, you got caught with crack cocaine when you were blacked out drunk in January.
Yeah.
You've been drinking and drugging your whole life, okay? I think we had told either the drug and alcohol evaluator or Miss Henley that you hadn't used it like since '94, okay? Clearly, none of that's
I
true.
didn't say I didn't use it since '94.
When did you say that?
I said I haven't been in trouble since 1994, felony wise. I mean,
All right.
misdemeanors is yes. I mean,
No big deal?
no, it is a very big deal. It's cost me a lot of money, and time too.
Then why do you keep doing it? If you can, you said you can stop drinking, you were gonna quit drinking for a
I have
while.
no excuse, sir.
I know, but if you could stop drinking, why don't you stop drinking?
I do.
When? When you're in jail? I mean, show me any extended period of time where you haven't gotten in trouble for drinking or drugs for the last 30 years or so. There isn't any.
Yeah, okay, well then you see all these cases, if you're saying that's true, okay, how many of them is there, 20? Okay, we'll say that, and then how many days of that, you wanna point out, that's what they do, people, you could do 99, you got 100 things to do, but if you do 99 things right, one thing you do wrong, boy, they point that out, but the 99 things I do right, it doesn't count. You do, one thing you do wrong, oh, what, just like what's going on right now, so I will promise you, I will follow the guidelines, whatever you ask me to do. Go to meetings, you know what I mean, I can't win. You know what I mean, unless I try,
Well, that's right, you can't win unless you try.
Yes, sir.
Problem is, you don't try.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. There's no objective proof that you've tried.
Okay. So I do try.
Where do you live?
That was my father and my brother.
Well, your father don't want you living there, so what are you gonna
What do
do?
you mean you don't want me living there?
I'm just telling you, he don't want you living there.
I don't really want to live there either. But, right now, I'm going through some changes, But I had a trailer at the park, and they closed the park, they sold the whole land. And,
Where?
Yucca Beach.
Where's the trailer then?
They sold it.
They sold your trailer?
Yeah, they tore the whole property down. My brother owned it, and he got the money. I didn't own it, I was renting.
Was that? When did you live on Huntmere?
Just recently. Because the lady that, she bought a house, she lived in a trailer park too. I moved with her. She passed away just within the last 6 months, and her daughter now lives there. And some of my belongings are still there.
Where'd you get the cocaine from?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, not
Just
really.
ended up in your pocket or
Yeah,
what?
no, it's somewhere in a bar. I don't know. I told you I was half in the bag. You know what I mean, or drunk, whatever you're gonna call it.
Did you pay for it?
Yeah,
How much did you pay for it?
$30
How do you know that?
because I know when I have my money.
But you don't know what bar you were in?
No, I was at 185th, probably at some St. Joe's, right across the street from St. Joe's.
He couldn't tell you where he got it or who he got it from, but god damn it, he could tell you exactly how much he paid for it and exactly how much he has left.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Is that where you usually got it?
Sir, no, I don't usually do it, sir.
Well, I mean, you said you got it 3 times. How did you know where to get it then?
Well, some of my buddies, they say, hey, I know where. But I don't mess with that stuff because there's selling stuff that'll kill you right now. And I don't do it, so I drink.
So how did you know it was in this cocaine?
Well, I didn't, sir. I
Then
don't.
why would you take it if you don't know what's in it if it's killing people? All right, I can't take it anymore. Ms. Alessi?
Thank you, Your Honor. The state is recommending prison in this case. The defendant has demonstrated historically that he is not amenable to community control sanctions, and certainly is not amenable in this case. He's been convicted of vandalism, theft, aggravated menacing, assault, drug abuse, contempt of court on 6 occasions,
30 years.
slew of misdemeanor convictions, disorderly conduct, resisting, attempted theft, criminal trespass, open container, DUI, even though he contends today that he doesn't have a drinking problem. He's served 2 prior prison terms.
What'd you say to her?
Thanks.
Thanks.
Okay. Were you being sarcastic to her?
No, sir.
Okay.
No.
I think you were.
No, I wasn't.
All right, go ahead.
2 prior prison terms, most recently being released in 1994, and he has 7 active misdemeanor warrants. Again, given his history, what's been said here today in court, his conduct here in court, I think he's demonstrated he doesn't follow the law, he doesn't follow the orders of the court, and prison would be appropriate here. He has 51 days credit.
What were you thanking her for?
For helping me.
You don't seem like you want any help. You seem like you're bothered about having to do any of this stuff anyway.
No, sir. No, sir. I don't know. I thought I was okay. I am okay. I'm not.
You're not okay.
Sir, I am.
No, you're not. Go ahead, your turn. I mean, come on, look at your record. You can't stop drinking, and you can't stop doing drugs. And you're in Mark's, blackout drunk, touching people in the store. You're okay?
Oh, I guess not.
All right, I've reviewed the pre-sentence report and the drug and alcohol evaluation. I've considered all the provisions in 29, 29, 11, 12, and 13. I'm going to place you on community control for 3 years.
Thank you, sir.
You're going to serve 101 days in jail with credit for 51. No, I'm sorry, 111 with credit for 51. The last 30 days, you're going to be in the jail treatment program. You're going to complete that and follow all recommendations. After you complete that, you're going to enter into either Lake House or Concord Pines, and you're going to follow all those recommendations. You're to have no drugs or alcohol, and you'll be screened.
What?
Did you hear what I said?
No.
Please shut up.
I don't
Be
know.
completely quiet. I'll send you a copy of the entry, okay? It's time to be quiet now.
And this is my
Please,
my life
please,
away.
please, shut up.
Yes, sir.
You're going to attend at least 4 AA meetings a week and get a sponsor. You're going to get a valid driver's license. You're going to obtain and maintain full employment. No contact with Marks and Willowick. And you're going to pay the costs and supervision fees. Anything else, Ms. Henley?
Your Honor, would you like the defendant to take care of his warrants?
Where are they from?
Cleveland Heights. Shaker.
I apologize.
There's Cleveland Heights, Shaker Heights.
In East Cleveland.
And he's the, yeah, they're,
All right, then another provision, you clear all your warrants. And do you understand all the terms, Mr. Petrich?
Yes, sir.
Any questions? Any questions? Any questions?
No, I don't have any.
All right, if you don't comply with the terms, the state will file a motion to terminate your community control. If they find you violated, then I'll terminate you and you'll spend 12 months in prison. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Anything else, Mr. Leshy?
Forfeiture of the cocaine, Your Honor.
Forfeited?
No, not the cocaine. Alright guys, that's the end of today's video. I just thought Judge O'Donnell deserved his own video recognition for being a badass judge alongside Judge Simpson, Judge Oakley, Judge Slavin, and of course, Judge Perkins. All of these judges are fair. They don't put up with any dumb fuckery in their courtroom, and most importantly, they aren't afraid to help out the people who truly want to help themselves out. So if you liked the video, hit the like button. If you disliked it, hit the dislike. But don't forget to leave a comment below and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss any of my content. I'm Team Skeptic, and I'm out.